Hello, this is your disabled combat veteran after 9/11, Michael Commiso and the Battle Buddies online. Well, if people are geniuses hacking each other's lives online as people in the world, you would be smart enough to know that the 60s and 70s and the 80s are coming back in the future. So people are going to be nicer to each other in the future, because as an adult online, kids use the internet too, and kids like making YouTube videos. So actually, our kids in the world is going to change the world, because kids don't want adults to fight no more as they make YouTube channels. They have their own YouTube. Kids like to watch themselves on television as kids on YouTube channels. So people are going to be nicer to each other, as just because one person doesn't like sex and nudity online, billions of people in the whole world does online. So as 60s, kids smoked weed in the 60s, and people accepted more of sex and nudity in the 60s. So the 60s and the 80s and the 70s are coming back. The golden age of nudity is coming back, because the kids online don't want adults to fight no more in the world. So our kids in the world is going to change the world on the internet, and everything. So sex and nudity is going to be in the future, as it was in the 60s and the 70s. And they're going to legalize even more medical or weed in this country, in the United States, as they're going to legalize more sexy time on the internet, as they're going to pass a bill in the Capitol in the future that you're allowed to be a nudist in stores all around the country, as you allowed to be a nudist on beaches and resorts. They're going to be a lot of naked people walking around in the future, as sex and nudity is changing the world. So I guess the law just has to suck it up and accept the fact that just because you screw somebody's one life over on nudity and sex, there's still billions of naked people online. Like, people are going to be nicer to each other in the future because of kids. Kids on the internet is going to change the world. Kids don't want adults to fight no more in the world. Kids don't want to be part of gangs. Kids don't want to be part of pussy terrorists. Kids don't want to fight on the streets no more. Kids want to play on the streets. And kids, as America Got Talent and American Idol and The Voice and shows like that, your kids wants to be something in life. They don't want wars on planet Earth no more. Kids don't want to fight no more. As we all dead and gone, no matter what, our culture changed over time, and 60s and 70s and the 80s are coming back. So kids want to dress the way they want to dress. Kids want to walk down the street the way they want to walk down the streets, as they did in the 80s. In the 60s and the 70s. So the law can't look at sex on the internet as whatever they look at it as they get it on themselves at court around here in the jail cell, because your kids want people to change in the future. The kids on the internet is going to change the world. And people are going to be nicer to each other in the future because of your kids in the world. People want to travel the world again. Tourists, your kids want to go to a good college so they can go on field trips. They travel the world and everything. So sex is not going anywhere, Law. Just because you all became haters on your hometown hero for the world to see. Sex and nudity ain't going nowhere on the internet, and they're going to pass a bill on free sex and nudity in the future online. Because I think it's kind of unfair for billions of naked people get upset over one naked person online. So I practice nudism. I think my fallen heroes at war would like me to stand up for myself as a veteran back home, as your hometown hero. And what would they do, the fallen heroes that fought, protect this American country and the flag? I believe my fallen heroes, my battle buddies, would have stood up for me as a veteran back home. As I thought my hometown would have my back home on everything. So, like I said in my last video, the law is going to lose profit on busting on butt naked people online, as they're the nudists themselves as the law. So the future is everybody's going to be nicer to each other in the future because of your kids making YouTube videos. Now, right now, I bet your kids are making YouTube videos just like this. As kids in the world said, we don't want people to fight no more because kids are going to use the YouTube channel a different way in the future. And they don't want adults to fight in the world. Your kids are going to change the world. Your kids want to get along in schools. Your kids want to get along on the streets in the world. As on YouTube, kids like to see themselves on television on YouTube channels. So there's going to be less crime and violence in the future because it's going to be very hard to pick fights with each other when everybody's nudists in stores and naked are in the future. It's kind of hard to pick fights when you're all butt naked on the internet nowadays. So it's going to be feeling like the 60s and 70s and 80s in the future. People are not going to fight with each other in the future because of your kids on the internet. And sex and nudity ain't going anywhere on the internet just because there's one hater on the site or one hater on the internet. That's why I think the law is unfair to come down hard on people, as people are going to stand up for themselves at court as Americans, as a citizen, American citizen. And it's kind of unfair that the whole court can be butt naked at this court, but me, you all look at me somebody different and everything. So it's unfair. As the internet, since the internet started, as the internet and the kids online is going to change the world. There have been billions of naked people on the internet for years online, and nobody had an issue until now. So people are going to get smarter at court. They're going to say, well, if this lawyer doesn't want to help me, I can find another lawyer. Maybe I have to find a nudist lawyer. Or Americans that like American soldier after 9/11 attack in New York City. So your kids are going to change the world because kids think, right now, kids in the world think adults are idiots in the world. Kids can't understand why adults fight in the world online. So the 60s and 70s or 80s are coming back. And people are going to be more acceptable of the word sex online. As billions of naked people don't see billions of naked people online. That's how you all work in the internet. Billions of naked people online don't see billions of naked people online. That's not how the future is. As really, people that try to hide on the internet, as the internet is a social media, everybody talks about everything. The internet is not like the internet in the past. You can't really hide on the internet no more. So since they put everything on live television, the internet is a live television. No matter who you are on the internet. It's because it's a social media. So 60s and 70s are coming back. The hippies are coming back. As the shows like they're going to have to put nudity back on American television. Because if the law and the court and whoever's trying to control people's lives because they hack their computers or something, you should realize people are not watching TV as much as people watching internet 24 hours a day on webcam. 24 hours a day, every single day of the week, every single day in the month, every single month of the year. People are on the internet 24 hours a day, butt naked on the internet. So, as an American television, they're going to be nudity in television shows. They're going to be nudity in movies and on television. A Playboy channel, I don't know why they took down the Playboy channel, but the Playboy channel is coming back, the Hustler channel is coming back, Penthouse is coming back, all the main channels, Spice channel, all this stuff's coming back because your kids are changing the world right now, at this moment. The internet, kids online are changing the world, and American Pies, they're going to make more American Pie movies. The one thing that messes up a series of movies is when they take out the nudity in that movie. I like Revenge of the Nerds, and I like Revenge of the Nerds 2. And I like all the Revenge of the Nerds, but I noticed when they took out the nudity in their movies, they're not on top of the list anymore. That's the reason why. Because when you watch a Revenge of the movies, you expect seeing nudity in the movie. So, as the law acts like people are not accepted to nudity and sex online by now in the 21st century, but you're all wrong and lying to people at court. As I come back home and I'm your hometown hero on a 4th of July independent streets around here. So that doesn't make sense how you treated me back home as a free American nudist. As, damn, you can't party naked with Commiso? You all have big games at parties, but you found out reason why not to hang with me? And I traveled all around the world after 9/11 attack and served my country. I went to a lot of cool countries, Since I was in special education classes, and I have a speech impediment, I can't pronounce all the words the way you want me to in English class. That's why when I go to the English class, I kind of try to hide myself in the class so they won't pick on me to read the book because I had trouble reading books. But Albert Einstein had trouble speaking until he was 12 years old. People thought Albert Einstein was mentally challenged. His parents thought he was mentally challenged. But Albert Einstein came out to be a genius. So that tells me, just because you all can figure out how to find the answers online, it doesn't mean that everything is right on the internet. That's one thing they taught me in school. Just because you found a site on the information. That's why you have to leave the website on your paper where you found, like, the ending of your paper. Where did you found this information, so the teachers can look it up themselves where they found it. Because not everything, people lie about each other on the internet. So obviously it feels like a lot of people lied about history on the internet. So things, the 60s and 70s and the 80s are coming back. Because your kids are tired of fighting on the streets. Your kids want to play on the streets. People are not going to believe the news in the future. People are not going to believe the crime that's on television. Because if we paid the law to not have crime on television, we just don't understand that and everything. And people don't like to watch television. People on the internet 24 hours a day on the internet. So things in the future are going to change. People are going to have to be nice to each other because your kids on the YouTube channel and everything. Kids uses the internet too, law. And so nudity, and as it is accepted now as I'm your hometown hero, if you like it or not. And I'm still going to be a hometown hero if you all beat the crap out of me. You all look bad on the internet in the world. Because people are going to be nicer to each other in the future. People are tired of crime on television. People are tired of wars. People are tired of fighting. People are tired. And if you like it or not, we all die in the end. There's nobody that's a superhero that has superhero strength and live forever as a human being on the internet in the world. So your kids are going to be the ones that be running this planet when they're kids, when they grow up. And your kids are smarter than you as an adult. We already had determined that when they had the show, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Because fifth graders are more refreshed of the subject in school. They are learning it now. That's why, as an adult, we forget to study and teach ourselves as an adult. So kids are smarter than us as an adult. So there's going to be no gangs in the future. Nobody likes terrorists in the world. Every country hates them. There's going to be none of them in the future. And there's going to be no violence because of your kids on the internet. You make your kids cry because of the violence and fighting on the streets. And people are going to be more acceptable like they were in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s on the word nudity and sex online. So the law is kind of wrong because they're going to lose their profit on the law and everything. The people are going to be updating their laws as everybody accept themselves to be a nudist in stores and restaurants in the future. And it's kind of hard to fight people when they're naked on the streets around the world. So it's not an assumption, it's a fact. The internet in the world and the children and the nudity and the sex is changing the world. People are going to accept sex and nudity more than they see crime on television. People don't want to watch crime no more, as you think they watched it in the first place. So crime shows are not going to be on television in the future because as you all sit there and act like the whole world, it's like the whole world saw each other butt naked in the world by now on the internet to come down on hard on people of the word nudity and sex online. Right? I got A's and B's. I did up to Algebra 2 in high school when Jumanji. I did math and shapes and triangles and circles in high school. I can't say that word, Jumanji, you know that. The study of shapes and math in high school. And I got A's and B's in math, and my math is telling me that there's going to be even more nudity on the internet in the future. And that's kind of sucks, you know. As your hometown hero that could have got my head chopped off and blown up by assholes in the world, and you can't accept me being butt naked back home as your American hero, as a nudist, as you... Nowadays, that people do party butt naked in the world, in backyards and front yards or whatever. So I'm still your hometown hero on the 4th of July street. So people are not going to be as mean as each other as now, or in the future people are going to be nicer to each other. Because your kids on YouTube channel, if you watch, because you all act like nobody knows what the YouTube channel is, and you know, watching kids are funny. On there, your kids want to be something in life. They don't want to sit around and wait like you all do as an adult to stop wars and violence on the streets. Your kids are going to stop that. Every kid in every country all around the world is going to say, that's messed up. How can you all have a good time in the 60s as an adult and 70s for you to put that on your kids now? You all sang with Michael Jackson about world peace all around the world, and now you won't allow your kids to have world peace in the world. Your kids are going to get upset on YouTube, and your kids are going to change the world. It's a fact. And my math, it's a fact. As time goes on, as in history, where when you was caveman as human beings, there was nobody worried about wearing clothes as caveman. And as time goes, the lesser and fewer clothes that people are going to wear in the future. It's a fact. And women bikinis, women are wearing less clothes on the beaches. As this is United States of America. You would think by now every beach in this country is allowed to be butt naked online. As women are still fighting for their equal rights in a free American country. Women are like, how come men can be topless on the beach but women can't? So in the future, fewer styles gonna change over the years as the internet. It's a fact. People are tired of fighting. People are tired of seeing crime. People are tired because kids want to play on the streets. Kids want to play with each other. Kids want to have a good time in life. Where kids are tired of the crime on top. So if you think kids are watching television more than internet, you're wrong. So as there's haters, as there's one hater around here on sex and nudity, it kind of sucks that people come down hard on you as even the law is butt naked online. And people are going to wake up and smell the coffee and say, that's unfair. How come the law can twist the law for themselves only so they won't get in trouble with the law as the law? And get mad at one person like that as the law allowed all these years for billions of naked people to be online. So just because you screw somebody, a Commiso doesn't control people. You're acting like I'm the one. Their kids are going to figure out what the internet is since the 80s and 90s. What year is it? 2023? The law is treating me like it's 600 BC when I go to court. This is the first time that the law saw some nudity on the internet. They must have a lot of stuff on their computer. That's why they bring the heat on one person online. What they have on their computers as the law. So in the future, people are going to be nicer to each other, as we're going to have to, because your kids are crying on the internet. They don't understand why you all had a good time when Michael Jackson was around, all around, as kids. And to grow up to put war and violence on the streets around the world. Your kids are upset, as your kids accept sex and nudity more than crime on the internet. So, I don't know who's the hater on their hometown hero on the 4th of July street as Michael Commiso, but it kind of sucks that over the years that you all have sex in public places nowadays, and as the law in the streets and everybody, to make you feel, your soldiers make you feel like guilty that I came back home alive from war like that. You guys make me feel that way. I go out of my way to make people laugh on my YouTube for years, and nobody had a problem with me making videos in this apartment. So I must have moved back to haters around here. So that word is going to be obsolete. Commiso knows words too. That word is going to be obsolete in the future as haters and violence and crime and all that. War. Our war is going to be obsolete so as 9/11, we was getting robbed as a country over our porn and our things, Americans. So the law is going to lose profit busting down doors because people think that's kind of messed up. How the hell the billions of naked people over the years don't see billions of naked people in the world as the law themselves? I think I'm being treated unfairly, as I just use the internet. I pay for the internet to use whatever. It's my fault what's on the internet. So in the future, as y'all act like sex and nudity, no, it's going to be like the 60s and the 70s and the 80s again. They're going to bring back porno theaters. More porno stores are coming back. They're going to bring back porn in the malls and the grocery stores back, because they have to up their economy. Sex and nudity ups your economy. As television are losing channels, because there's no nudity on television, as everybody's on webcam 24 hours a day, butt naked, watching each other online. The law doesn't tell you that. I guess they wanted me to really feel bad that I came back home from war as my hometown law in the state of New Jersey on a 4th of July street. So the law looks worse than I do. It just looks like I was just using the internet and things just popped up on my computer as advertisement from that site. So in the future, it's going to be even harder to try to mess up sites. Like you ever realize the site's getting better and better, and one person messing up that site online? It's going to be harder in the future, as you act like violence and crime has high ratings. No, sex and nudity has high ratings. Your kids on YouTube has high ratings. You know what I'm saying? So I'm stating the facts that people are tired of fighting on the streets, as kids are going to be the ones in the future that gonna run this planet. So hate and crime, it's got no ratings. Nobody's watching TV no more as people write off your router nowadays. And they use your router to watch TV on the internet. So cable boxes and everything, you're going to have to, if you want to save the cable box and television, they're going to be nudity on every channel. As Chatterbait is going to be a channel, as the YouTube. So I don't have to worry about you all being haters and banning me on anymore, because Chatterbait is going to be a channel. And I can watch whatever I want on Chatterbait, and you can't do nothing about it because it's on cable box. As it's harder to hack a cable box than a computer and a router. So the more you cockblock me, the more ladies want me. Teach your kids. You all went to college parties. Women want other women don't have. So you made me a desirable person as a veteran back home. The more you push me away at parties, the more you push me away at Chatterbait, as your hometown hero, as haters. And Chatterbait, I guess I just sit around to Chatterbait to be a channel on television. And then you don't have to, and I don't have to worry about anybody hacking me like a crazy person getting mad because I'm like everybody else on Chatterbait. So I want to see everybody butt naked online. So, whatever, you know. You all could claim that violence and hate is the thing, but it's really not. Your kids are going to change the world on the internet, as they kids are changing the world now. Your kids want to be on American Got Talent. Your kids want to be on Voice. Your kids want to be on American Idol. Your kids want to do something with their lives. They don't want to sit around and fight about the same old shit from the 600 BC as an adult. Did you know in 600 BC they was fighting about sex and nudity, and they start wars over sex and nudity? So people had to die over free sex online in the back in the day. So laws are gonna get updated if the law likes it or not. That's why the law is having a hard time trying to explain why I'm a bad guy and I'm just trying to use the same site as Chatterbait and whatever, you know. Because I'm a really good guy. You know, in the future, just because you watch the same sex and nudity as everybody else doesn't make me a bad father as a hometown hero. So the law has to explain more and more to the court in the future. It's called common sense. You don't have to be a genius to have common sense. Sex and nudity, and your kids on YouTube don't want fighting anymore. Your violence, the golden age is coming back. People are gonna, the hippies are coming back. People are gonna help each other out no more in the future. As I thought everybody had my back home on that 4th of July street as your hometown hero. Because I go out of my way to be nice to people. If anybody knows me and you in high school and all the schools around here, my teachers and the students know Commiso's got a really big heart, and I go out of my way to be nice to you as a student and a teacher. Yeah, it's easy to make a nice guy angry and upset. Wow, what else is new? So it's boring. So it's called common sense. The only reason why people use the internet nowadays is uses webcam and Chatterbait with each other, right? So I'm not the hater back home. I'm your damn son and damn brother, your best friend, your cousin, your nephew, or your uncle, or whatever I am back home that survived a fucked up war after 9/11. And I figure everybody had my back home. because I'm a nice person to people. I'm not mean to people. You're lying, as television lies to you, as there ain't that much crime in this country as they claim on television. And kids are not stupid. Adults treat kids on the internet like they're stupid, as they treat me as I'm stupid as a disabled combat veteran after 9/11. So I make videos for myself to motivate myself to keep going in this world that you all came up with. But I also feel like I make videos to help other veterans out, because other veterans don't feel good about themselves, because you make them feel not good about themselves for some reason. And, I prefer this world to be a better place for kids. Y'all act like, you know what, your kids look up to me. I'm your disabled combat veteran after 9/11 attack in New York City in the state of New Jersey. So my hometown court acting like I didn't do shit with my life. But your kids look up to me when they watch my YouTube videos. And my fallen heroes, what would they do if they was alive? My fallen heroes would have stuck up for me as my battle buddies. Because that's the personality they are as veterans. So I was the older son, the older brother that stood up for my younger brother on these streets. And I'm that kind of guy that stands up for people. So I feel like I have to make these videos, as how hard it is to stand up for your hometown hero on a 4th of July street after 9/11 attack in New York City. So like I said, kids don't like gangs, kids don't like terrorism, kids don't like violence, kids don't like wars, kids don't like crime, kids in every country in the whole world. The wars are, your kids are going to change. If you can't see that, there's something wrong with you. Kids uses the internet too, not just the adults online, the law. And your kids are going to change the world. They don't like this. They don't understand. If adults teach kids in school not to bully each other and pick on each other and everything in school, kids don't understand adults on the streets in the world. It doesn't make any sense. So people make you believe that people don't have a good heart and care about each other. There's still good people in this world. That's why bad guys are pissed off when I came back home from war after 9/11. Because I have a good heart. I care about people. And bad guys don't want that to happen, so they can feel good about doing the crime on the streets around the world. But there's good-hearted people in the world. And your kids are going to change the world if you like it or not. And there's going to be more nudity. There's going to be more hippies. There's going to be more caring people. You all act like you're, just because you can bully and pick on people and beat up somebody doesn't make you any tougher or cooler. Then you're going to look like a loser in the future. Anybody that's a bully, anybody that does crime, anybody that does violence or whatever in the future, you're going to look like a loser on the streets in the future. Because your kids in the world are tired of watching adults on the internet hurting each other like idiots. Especially in the 21st century. We have, if you really think about it, we as people in the world have no reason to have wars no more. People in the world don't have any reason to hate on each other as people in the 21st century. Everybody's got technology in their country. Everybody should by now have medicine for everybody. There should be no world hunger for kids or anybody. There should be nobody sleeping on the streets in every country. All this stuff is simple things in the future that we already solved as people on planet Earth. Nobody should be dying from any viruses or diseases. We all overcame this, as we have to be more adapted and smarter in outer space, as eventually we're going to find life. And when a scope reflects the lens and they can find you, sometimes our internet and our telescopes may reflect, and we don't know if the other life in outer space is as nice as human beings that can't figure out how to have world peace on planet Earth. So if our planet is our smallest planet in our galaxy, and that means life on planet Earth is small, we're tiny, and we don't know life is bigger on the other side of the outer space. So our future, the 60s and 70s and the 80s are coming back. People are tired of the law. I don't understand. You all want us to practice safe sex and love, but you only come down hard on one person of billions of people uses the same internet and the sites online. So I'm not sure who's the hater on their hometown hero on their 4th of July street, but you look corny. In the future, hate and war and violence and crime are obsolete, and you're gonna look uncool on the streets for violence like that, as everybody's going to be nicer to each other in the future, as kids are on the internet till law, and they're going to change the world law. So I think I'm getting treated unfairly, as the law allowed everybody to have sex at court around here for years as your hometown hero. So I got a few haters around. I don't think everybody hates Commiso. Commiso is a strong name. Everybody knows about Commiso around the world. And I'm a really nice guy. Everybody knows that Commiso served his country after 9/11. You all act like internet is some hidden world. There's no hidden world on the internet. So it sucks to go to court and they treat you like an idiot. Like I'm the first guy that was on the internet that figured out where sex and nudity is. There's no hidden world on the internet. It's a social media. That's why I don't understand why we have passwords anymore. If they get rid of the IP address and passwords and stuff, you don't have to worry about people hacking you anymore. Because everything gets put on the internet anyways. You really don't have to hack anymore as a social media. You're going to see what's on the internet no matter what. So, I'm not mean to my neighbors. I try to wave at my neighbors. And I don't understand how can people be mean and call a veteran names after 9/11 as a Commiso like that, and my battle buddies after 9/11. You look like an idiot on the streets bullying a disabled combat veteran after 9/11. As my battle buddies too. I don't think I'm the only one that's getting picked on as my battle buddies. So you all can cock block me from nudity and sex, but I just have to sit around for porn to come back on television, as they're going to make Chatterbait a channel. Then it's too late. Chatterbait is a quadrillion dollar site, and it's going to be a television as YouTube channel. But I'm an idiot. People taught me that I'm a slow idiot. I don't know anything. It, when people made me feel good about myself when I was in uniform serving my country all around the world, that felt good. Guys, Commiso, I felt proud that I served my country because everybody went out of their way to make me feel good about myself in uniform. I'm still in uniform. I'm still in uniform. Just because I'm a disabled combat veteran, I'm still acknowledged as an American soldier after. So what's the difference now? So you all look worse than I do. Like I said, in the future, you all going to look corny with crime and violence on the streets. You're not going to look cool at all. As in the future, people are going to be nice to each other because it's very hard to be mean to each other when everybody in a store is butt naked online. You can't be mean to each other when you're naked on the internet. Because you all act like sex and nudity is bad, but everybody, you all laugh when you see naked people on television. You all giggle, So 60s and 70s and 80s coming back, and it's going to be less crime on the streets because your kids are on the internet changing the world right now. So it's cool that they got America Got Talent. It's cool that they got Voice in American Idol and shows like that. Your kids are going out of their way to be something in this life. People, they're not like kids are not like adults around the world. We're sitting around or waiting. Your kids want to be something now. They don't want to, and they're not going to allow violence and crime slow them down to be a kid on the streets around the world. So, whatever, I figure everybody wants to party with night and day butt naked with Commiso back home as I'm your hometown hero on the streets. So in a way, you're kind of looking corny and a hater around here on a 4th of July live television street. So, either way, I'm your hometown hero. And just because the law decides to screw somebody's life over as one person, and it's still going to be sex and nudity on the internet. So if you screw my life over and put me away, I could come out and there'll be even more sex and nudity online. So it sucks that people didn't stand up for Commiso, as you look like an asshole. As I'm your hometown hero on a 4th of July street. I went out of my way to serve my country. I didn't have to join the military. I could have went to college. I learned how to be an actor, and I'd be in all the cool movies right about now. Because you all act like I can't meet the celebrities, but if you really think about it, every celebrity knows about Michael Commiso on the internet. At war, too. When I was at war serving my country. So, I did something with my life. You dragging out the case and looking like an asshole doesn't affect me as much. Because I know I did something with my life after high school. I didn't drop out of school like an idiot. I had to work harder than the other students because I was in special education class and I had a speech impediment and a learning disability. So it took more effort for me to pass that grade or class in high school than other students. And I graduated from you in high school. So your kids are changing the world online. And your kids don't want wars and violence in the world. As we all neighbors, all the countries are neighbors online. Our countries are too close to have wars and violence anymore. We're going to destroy our planet, and then they all have a reason really to be upset. We all be dead on planet Earth. all the life. We're all neighbors as countries, and we should treat each other like neighbors as countries and have world peace for your kids. As somehow we are all related, as we mixed breeded ourselves as a human being on this planet in every country. So somehow we all related somehow, and then we look like idiots hurting our family and brothers and sisters and mothers and daughters and dads and uncles and cousins and aunts and grandpop and grandmom. We all have grandpops and grandmoms in the world. We all have kids in the world. We all have a family in the world, and we're all, over the years, as the human being traveled the world, we are all related somehow, and we look like an idiot on planet Earth towards outer space, as human beings don't have any reason to fight with each other anymore, as we all went to colleges and schools around the world and learned that we're all human beings on planet Earth. So like I said, your kids on the internet and the 60s and the 70s and the 80s are coming back, and you act like nobody likes sex and nudity. But that's the only thing that's keeping the internet going, is the sex and the nudity. So I guess I'm an idiot, and I have to get taught by the law back home instead of welcome me back home on a 4th of July street and treat me, I kind of miss being in uniform and everybody saying thank you for your service as a soldier, to turn around and treat me like this as a disabled combat veteran after 9/11 attack in New York City around here. So I make my videos to motivate myself, and I'm not an idiot. I wish everybody stopped talking to me like I'm an idiot, because I'm not. Somehow this idiot jumped on a plane after 9/11 and flew all around the world pretty much by myself with strangers all around the world, and came back home alive and served my country all around the world in different countries. But I have to get talked like an idiot at court around here. So this is your disabled combat veteran after 9/11. Michael Commiso and the Battle Buddies online, and they have to update their laws on determine what free sex and nudity is, as your kids in the world is changing the world right now on the internet. People don't want to fight on the streets no more, and your kids want to be on American Got Talent and American Idol and Voice shows like that, as they're going to bring back nudity. Chatterbait is going to be a channel on television. Then I can watch what I want because it's on the cable box, and I don't have to get bullied and picked on for watching the same thing as the law on the internet and people and my neighbors online in the world. So world peace is coming no matter what, because you're losing profit fighting with each other in the first place. When you have tourists, when tourists come to your country, you earn a profit as economy. So you need tourists, you need Americans to go to your country, as people should be able to come to America and have a good time in America too. So this is your disabled combat veteran after 9/11, Michael Commiso and the Battle Buddies online.